Opening the center immediately establishes a central pawn presence, inviting rapid piece development for influence. Developing the knight early initiates a dynamic central struggle and prepares for kingside castling. Establishing central control, this pawn thrust immediately challenges black's knight and prepares to expand white's dominion across the board. Embracing a solid, classical structure, black prepares to develop the bishop and challenge central control. Developing a knight now solidifies central control and prepares for kingside castling, hinting at positional play over immediate aggression. Challenging the center's structure, black immediately seeks to exploit the dynamic imbalance on the queenside. Opening up the center with a pawn thrust creates immediate spatial pressure, forcing black to define their pawn structure quickly. Initiating the central pawn exchange, black liberates their position and opens crucial diagonals for piece development. Opening the c-file now gives white excellent attacking chances along that open highway. Developing the bishop to a powerful diagonal offers a dynamic counterbalance to white's central space. Securing the center's central pawns anchors development and prepares for a pawn storm on the queen side. Embracing the fianchetto, black prepares to exert pressure along the long diagonal, anticipating potential weaknesses around white's king. Solidifying central space and preparing a kingside pawn storm is the core idea behind this pawn push. Solidifying the pawn chain now, black prepares for queenside expansion and a potential fianchetto of their other bishop. Developing the bishop efficiently sets up a quick castling and prepares to contest the central diagonal. Securing the king with castling is a fundamental step, allowing pieces to join the central fight more effectively. Fortifying the monarch's sanctuary establishes a solid defensive perimeter against any premature pawn storming. Repositioning the rook to the central file bolsters piece activity and prepares for potential queenside expansion. Preparing to centralize the knight, potentially eyeing the f5 square to restrict black's kingside expansion. Unlocking the queenside pawn chain, this knight's leap aims to challenge white's central grip and potentially control the b4 square. Solidifying the center and preparing for a potential kingside expansion, though it does slightly obstruct the bishop's diagonal. Relocating the knight to a more active central square now, anticipating potential queenside expansion. Asserting pressure on the queenside, this knight seeks to exploit the open c-file and potentially create new attacking avenues. A bold knight sortie into white's pawn center, daring a tactical skirmish for control of the crucial e5 square. Pushing the bishop to this square aims to pressure the enemy king's flank and potentially prepare a kingside pawn storm. Exchanging knights here resolves the central pawn tension, aiming for a more open position while potentially simplifying matters for black's slightly cramped queenside. Liberating the light-squared bishop enhances active piece play and aims to exploit the open diagonals. Reclaiming central influence, that knight begins a strategic repositioning towards the queenside, aiming to contest crucial squares. Unlocking the queenside diagonal, this repositioning aims to pressure black's queenside pawns and coordinate for central expansion. Solidifying the queenside and preparing for b5, this maneuver aims to contest the queenside initiative and prevent white's pieces from achieving dominance. Probing the queenside flank with this pawn advance aims to disrupt black's pawn structure and potentially create weaknesses down the road. Asserting queenside presence, this rook aims to disrupt white's pawn structure while preparing for potential b-file pressure. Pushing the pawn aggressively aims to shatter black's queenside pawn structure and gain valuable space. Black bravely challenges white's queenside expansion, seeking counterplay and aiming to disrupt white's space. Opening the file grants crucial long-term pressure against black's queenside structure. Exploiting the open file, black instantly activates the rook, aiming to disrupt white's queenside pawn structure and potentially create play against the king. Unleashing the rook along the open file, white seeks to exploit black's somewhat passive pawn structure on the queenside. Shifting the rook to the fourth rank opens up the b-file for potential counterplay, eyeing weaknesses near white's kingside. This repositioning boldly challenges the rook's influence, aiming to exploit the pawn structure's weaknesses. Sacrificing the bishop for pawn leverage immediately injects dynamic possibilities into the queenside skirmish.